morning. How are you all, my dear students? I hope all are good. Welcome to our English online lesson. We are going to complete Unit 6, Lesson 28 today. Yesterday, you did Yishin story. Today, we are going to start a new story, Cinderella. It is the second story in the same lesson, Lesson 28. We are going to do pages 470 till 481. As you know, every lesson consists of two stories or two lessons. And in the end, you have to compare the two stories in the same lesson. So, we did Yishin yesterday. Today, we will do Cinderella. And in the end, we are going to compare these two stories from the same lesson, Lesson 28. So, let us start Cinderella. The author is Sheila Swaney Higginson. The illustrator for this story is Donald Wu. And the genre is same, fairy tale. So, both these stories are having the same style. Both of them are fairy tales. Both of them have magical characters. The main characters in both these stories is a girl who is raised by her stepmother. Our learning objectives for today are: upon completion of this lesson, you should be able to summarize the events of Cinderella, compare and contrast Yishin and Cinderella, and you should be able to write short opinion paragraphs. So let us start the story. You can get your journey's textbook ready, page 470, but I would recommend you to listen to me first. Look here, the whole story is here, and later you can refer to your book. So once upon a time, there lived a girl named Cinderella. She was smart, kind, and beautiful. Her father loved her very much and she loved him. Cinderella had a stepmother and two stepsisters. They did not love Cinderella, they were jealous of her and were never kind. So, it is not mentioned here, but in this story, Cinderella's father dies. So, she has to live with her stepmother and two stepsisters. As her father is dead, so she has to face many hardships. Her stepmother and stepsisters are jealous of her. Why are they jealous? Because Cinderella is very beautiful and her stepsisters are ugly. Cinderella is kind, but her stepsisters are very mean. So her stepmother also doesn't like Cinderella. Page 471. Cinderella had to do all the chores. I told you last time what is the meaning of chores? Work. She mopped the floors and washed all the dirty dishes. So you can see in this picture how she is working day and night. One day, Cinderella's family received an invitation to a ball. So there was a party at the prince's palace, and there was an invitation sent to the Cinderella's family. The prince was having a dance and inviting all of the young women in the kingdom. So he invited all the ladies of the town. Cinderella dressed up her stepsisters. She brushed their hair, she fixed everything for them, and she waved them goodbye. She was not allowed to go to the party. Why? Because her stepmother was jealous of her. She didn't want the prince to see Cinderella because she knew that she is very beautiful. Her stepmother wanted the prince to see her daughters so that he could fall in love with one of them and could marry her. Once they left the house, Cinderella was alone and she was very sad. She cried, "Oh, how I wish that I could go to the ball," Cinderella sobbed. "I wish that I had a beautiful dress to wear." So you see, she didn't have any good dress to put for the party, and she knew that with old dress she couldn't go to the palace. So she cried and she wished. All of a sudden, what happened? A tiny woman with wings flew through the window. So see, here we have a magical character. Cinderella has a fairy godmother. "Why are you crying, my dear?" the fairy godmother asked Cinderella. "I want to go to the ball too," cried Cinderella. "Then you shall go," said the fairy godmother. Cinderella's fairy godmother waved her wand quickly in the air. Poof! A pumpkin transformed into a golden coach. So you can see this is a pumpkin. The fairy godmother, she did magic, and what happened? This pumpkin was transferred into a golden coach. 6 mice turned into a team of horses to pull the coach. So she changed the mice to horses by her magic. Whoosh! Cinderella's old worn-out clothes were changed into a beautiful pink and silver gown and 2 glass slippers. So the fairy godmother, with her magic, changed her dress and her slippers. Now she had glass slippers and she had a very expensive silver gown. Pink and silver gown. So you can see in the picture, Cinderella has turned into a pretty girl. Next page, 473. "What are you waiting for?" the fairy godmother inquired from Cinderella. "You need to get to the ball. Just make sure that you come home by midnight." So what is midnight? Yes, 12 a.m. So the prince saw Cinderella as soon as she entered the ballroom. He could not believe his eyes. She was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. The prince asked Cinderella to dance. The prince soon discovered that Cinderella was smart and kind, and he fell completely in love with her. Cinderella learned that the prince was good and noble. Cinderella fell in love with him too. So now both of them are in love with each other. Everyone was dancing in the party, so nobody saw Cinderella and nobody noticed her. But then what happened? Page 474. Soon enough, the clock began to strike midnight in the ballroom. So you can see here the clock was going to strike 12. It was soon going to be midnight. Cinderella, she started to run and she wanted to go away from the palace. She wanted to go back to her home because the fairy had told her not to stay later than 12. So now Cinderella quickly hurried. As she ran out, one of her glass slippers fell off her foot. Cinderella did not stop to get it, so she lost one of her glass slippers. The prince rushed after Cinderella, but he couldn't catch her. He picked up the glass slipper and sighed. It belonged on the foot of the girl he loved. So now he promised that he would find Cinderella and he would marry her. Now let us see, was he able to find her? Page 475. The prince was true to his word. With the glass slipper in hand, he knocked on every door in the kingdom. He was looking for the girl whose foot would fit into the slipper. So this was the slipper. The prince took it and he went in the town to find her. Every girl wished the slipper would fit, especially Cinderella's stepsisters. So of course everybody wanted the slipper to fit because they knew that the prince was going to marry the girl whose foot would fit in the slipper. The stepsisters tugged and pulled on the slipper. They pushed with all their might, but they could not fit their big feet into the slipper. So it means that the slipper was very small. Cinderella watched her stepsisters as she stood next to the fireplace. At last, she stepped out so that the prince could see her. "May I try?" she asked shyly. So she wanted to try the slipper. She wanted to show the prince that it belonged to her. Page 476. The prince knelt down in front of Cinderella and held out the glass slipper. Cinderella placed her foot into the slipper and it fit her perfectly. So as you can see in the picture, the slipper was perfect in her foot. However, the prince did not need to see that. He looked into Cinderella's eyes. He knew that she was his true love. So it means that the prince recognized her face. The prince took Cinderella back to his castle and they were married the next day. Then Cinderella, who was always kind, invited her father, her stepmother and her stepsisters to live with the prince and her in the castle. They all lived happily ever after. Please remember that Cinderella has been written many times by different writers, and in this version of Cinderella, her father is not dead, he is alive, because we can see here in the end, she takes her father, her stepmother and her stepsisters with her to the palace. So how did you find this story? Did you like Cinderella or do you like Yi Shen? I think both of them are very exciting and full of imagination. Now let us move to the next page, 477. Compare text. Discuss stories. Think about Yi Shen and Cinderella. How are the stories alike and different? Compare and contrast the characters, the settings and the events. Discuss your ideas with a partner. Then tell which story you like better and why. So, let us do this part first. Let us compare them. Let us see how they are alike and how they are different. Can you think? Let us do it together. Similarities. How they are same. Both are fairy tales. So both the stories are fairy tales. Yi Shen and Cinderella both are treated badly and had a stepmother. So both of them had stepmother. The plot is same for both the stories. The main character was not allowed to go to an event. Do you remember in Yi Shen she wanted to go to the festival, and in this case Cinderella she wanted to go to the ball. They both got help from their special magical friends. So in Yi Shen it was the magical fish, and here she had a fairy godmother. Yi Shen and Cinderella both had their slipper lost while running away. Both the characters get married to a royal person in the end and lived happily ever after. Both the stories teach us the same lesson, that goodness is always rewarded in the end. So these are some of the similarities. You can think of more. Now let us see the differences. How are they different from each other? The stories have different settings. Yi Shen lived in China in a cave and Cinderella lived in a house. Yi Shen had one stepsister, but Cinderella had two stepsisters. Yi Shen is helped by the fish and Cinderella is helped by a fairy godmother. Yi Shen lost her silk slipper, but Cinderella lost her glass slipper. Yi Shen got married to the king. So Yi Shen has gotten married to the king and Cinderella got married to the prince. Yi Shen's stepmother and stepsister were left in the cave in the end, but Cinderella took her stepmother and stepsisters to the castle with her. So you can see the differences and the similarities. So we have compared them. We have compare and contrast the characters, the settings and the events. Next one, make decision. Yixin sneaks out of the cave at night to get her lost slipper. Why is this not a safe thing to do? What would you do? Write to explain. So you can discuss it instead of writing that is it safe to go out in the night? Of course not. So you can think of a possibility. How could she get her slipper back instead of going out in the night? Connect to social studies. Yixin is a fairy tale from China. Work with a partner to find 3 facts about China in a reference book. Write each fact on a sheet of paper. Draw a picture to go with each fact. So what you can do is search China. All of us know about this country, especially at this time. So you can find out 3 facts about China from the internet or from your partner. You can discuss it in your home or with your friends. And in this way you can have a better idea about the setting of Yixin fairy tale. After this, I want you to read the whole story page by page and try to understand it and compare it with Yixin. Now it is writing time. Today we are going to do opinion writing. Opinion writing is meant to convince your readers to agree with what you feel or think about a topic. So here a topic is given to you and you have to write something so that whoever is going to read your paragraph or your essay should be convinced that whatever you have written is correct and your opinion is respectful. So let us move to your book, page number 480, opinion writing. Let us see what example they have given us. When you write a response paragraph, use only details that support your opinions. Connect your opinions with reasons using linking words such as and, because and also. Ariana drafted a response paragraph about Yixin. Later, she revised her draft by taking out a detail that did not belong and by adding linking words. So here she has written her opinion about Yixin. She has added some linking words in order to make her paragraph stronger than before. Her checklist is, you have to always check when you are also writing opinion writing. Did I clearly state my opinion? Did I begin by stating my opinion? Do all of my details link to my opinion? Did I combine sentences that have the same subject? So see, let us go. This is her revised draft. Let us read her final copy. A Good Decision by Ariana. I think the king was right to never allow Yixin's step-family into the castle again. Yixin's stepmother Jin was very mean to her because Jin was angry. She made Yixin wear rags and work all the time. Also, Yixin was not allowed to have friends. Zhenli was not kind either. She was lazy and did not help Yixin. Jin and Zhenli needed to be punished because they treated Yixin so badly. So see here she has used linking words. Also, what else can you find? Because, see here. So she has used some linking words. What are linking words? Since, yet, and, because, but, for, until, however. See, how did she start her opinion writing? I think. So this word shows that this is her opinion. Maybe you don't agree to her, but this is her opinion. So we call this opinion writing. Now I want you to do this activity. I have started this opinion paragraph. I want you to complete it. In my opinion, Cinderella is a great story. So this is my opening sentence. This shows that this is my opinion. Cinderella is a great story. I have to give reasons and then I have to write my ending statement. I have given you the first statement. I have used a linking word here. Firstly, she has a fairy godmother. Now I want you to think and write reason 2. You can write also and think and write something. Then you can use another linking word and then in the end you can give your closing statement. Try to do it. I want you to open your notebooks and write in your notebooks opinion essay or opinion writing. Once you are finished with this, you can also think about another topic and write another opinion essay. Make it short, make it simple. Use correct spelling, use comma, use capital letters and use full stops. With this, we have finished our topic for today. Let us go back to our learning objectives and see, did we achieve them? Upon completion of this lesson, students will be able to summarize the events of Cinderella. So I hope all of you can tell the story of Cinderella in your own words. Compare and contrast Yishin and Cinderella. Yes, we have compared and contrasted them. Able to write short opinion paragraphs. I am sure if you will practice, you will be able to write short opinion paragraphs. So, we have achieved our learning objectives for today. With this, we have finished our journey textbook, Unit 6, Lesson 28. Next week, we will do the grammar part. We will finish our reader's notebook, Lesson 28. Till then, take good care of yourself. Bye.